Well, hello, willkommen to all my patrons and the people who waited a year. I got to explain what's going on right up front. The last time I did one of these episodes, it was my absolute favorite thing in the whole world. It's a lot of work, but it's just fun to see what happens when you double translate something. Let me get a thumbnail first. I don't speak German whatsoever. Of the languages that I sort of kind of know, French, Spanish, and Klingon, and even then only when I'm experiencing Beige. So I don't know German. We got a German listener. I got a couple of friends who speak German, so I figured that would be a fun one because I don't really know anything about it. The last time we did Japanese, and I didn't really know anything about that one either. Maybe in the future we can do a language I know a little better. I took a lot of French, so that one I might actually be able to follow along. But we're doing another language I know pretty much nothing about. If anything, I probably know more Japanese just from cultural context. Also, I'm sorry I don't have lederhosen. I would have gotten some if I could have. Anyway, let me explain up front for you video viewers, because I'm going to say some stuff in the body of the show that only applies to the audio version. What you're about to watch is the untranslated original episode. So, topic will come up, I'll just talk about it, then I'm going to transcribe that. But that's not what you're going to see here in this video that you're watching right now. You're just seeing the original version, and then it's going to end, and then I have to transcribe, Google Translate to German, Google Translate back to English, re-perform the episode, but with the German-English weird mangled hybrid, which I will do later on a different mic so that you can hopefully tell the difference because of the mic quality change. But nevertheless, what you're about to watch here today is me speaking extremely slowly. Again, I'm only explaining that for you, the video viewers. It just makes transcribing easier because I talk like 1,000 miles a minute. So I'm just trying to make it easy on me. So we've had almost a full 3 minutes of explanation and prep for this episode. What do you say we get this show on the road? Oh my god. Oh my gosh. I'm literally trying to think of German, I know, and I can't come up with anything. Luftballons. All right, 3-minute mark. This is going to be a long one video-wise. It's probably going to be like a 10-minute episode when it's done, but okay. Something in German, something in German, something in German. Dankeschön. Schnell. Bartchen. Mein Liebling. I got nothing. Oktoberfest. This is where the theme song goes. I didn't say it because I was like, oh, I'm not allowed to speak English in this one. That's not the gimmick. Oh, I should probably get my script out, though. Goodbye, flag of Germany. Why am I allowed to have a show? I'm sure you ask yourself the same question every day. Oh, I gotta wet the whistle. You're listening to Fix My Carcast, hosted by Bear Claw Billy, and this is episode 163. Comedian and musician Keith Hebert will join us once he's done making sauerkraut. But first, housekeeping. This is the show where you pick what I say and how I say it. Pick a topic or prompt by donating to the GoFundMe, and vote on the gimmick by joining my Patreon for just $1 a month. Join at the $5 or higher level and also get bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes footage. Links are in the description. Also down there, merch. Get yourself some merch. If you would love to be the talk of Frankfurt this summer, get yourself a Fix My Carcast t-shirt, and everyone will say, Wunderbar! Or Wunderbar! Is that how you pronounce it? I knew one! No new donors this week. The total raised for paying off my car repair debt is still holding at $2,442. Also, when we get to $3,000, it unlocks an automatic show gimmick, which is I will record an episode at sea. Fun fact, did you know that this whole podcast disappears when we hit $10,000? Das Ende! I have no idea if I said that right. Hey, do you like the theme song? No? Well, if you make a donation of $50 or more, in addition to picking an episode topic, you get to change one thing about the theme song forever. Unless somebody else changes it back. Want me to give it some Kraftwerk vibes? Oh, I said it wrong! I almost put a note in the script. You're gonna say it wrong. Kraftwerk? Ja? Damn it. I love that band, but I never say their name the proper German way. Want me to make it sound like Kraftwerk? I'll do it. $50. Also, if you would like to own the painting I made in episode 118, I'll be giving it away to the next person who donates $100 or more. That's right, own a piece of Fix My Car cast history while you still can. If you'd like to see the painting before you buy it, it can be viewed in the raw video version of episode 118 over on Patreon, link in the description. And yes, the painting is in this very room right now. It can be yours for just $100. Support the arts, buy the painting. Also, I'm pretty sure that episode's going to come out from behind the paywall really soon, so you will finally be able to see this painting and decide if you want to spend the money on it. Or, you know, get someone else's art. I'm not much of a painter. Like, up to you. You live your life, okay? Did I say no new patrons this week? Yup, bummer. Now it's time for a topic suggestion. I'll suggest topics I think I could easily talk about for a whole episode. Though admittedly, I think the show is more fun when it's something I'm completely clueless about. So, something I could talk about is my new single that drops literally today! It's called Everyone Does It Better, and I'd love to tell you all about how I made it. Want to know more? Donate today. Checking in on the best city in the world based on which city listened to the last episode the most, and we've got us another singles night tie. Ties are broken by whichever city listened to the most episodes, and our big winner is Westbrook, Maine. Congratulations, Westbrook, Maine. Let it be known that your Stadel Museum, Palmengarten Frankfurt, and Naturmuseum Senckenberg are the best in the world for 7 days. Forgive my accent, our one German listener and my few German friends. Last episode, I talked about the Northern Vizcacha while ending the episode if I say a color. You can see video of all the raw footage, plus a little extra, over on Patreon. Also, head over to Patreon for a bonus episode where I talk about further Drac inquiries and my niece's birthday party. Okay. Let's talk next week's gimmick poll. These are your choices for next week's episode gimmick. They are: do it like a beat poem, incorporate 25 band names, record it in a basement, and our returning gimmick, do a John Mulaney impression. Let's review. Number 1, do it like a beat poem. Bongos, I don't have a beret, but I have stripy shirts and cigarettes. I will do it like a beat poem. Yeah, man. Number 2, incorporate 25 band names. I will have to sneak the names of 25 music bands into the episode somehow, regardless of what the topic is. Number 3, record it in a basement. Sure, I can get my laundry done. And our returning gimmick number 4, do a John Mulaney impression, which I will not give you a preview of right now. Remember that any gimmick that gets just a single vote is eligible for a second chance in 6 weeks. Be sure to vote over on Patreon. The poll closes Thursday, March 20th at noon Eastern America time. All right, time for today's gimmick, which is translate the episode to German, then back to English. Now, let me explain this one. I'm about to improvise a Fix My Carcast episode like usual, but when I'm done, I will then meticulously transcribe every word of what I said, put it all into Google Translate, convert it to German, then put that German text back into Google Translate and convert that to English. I will then re-record the entire episode from that double translated script, which is what you're about to hear right now. And the original recording and both text transcripts will be available as Patreon bonuses. Everybody got all that? Of course, gimmicks don't start until housekeeping is out of the way in case any of them prevent me from sharing vital information. But now we are entering the gimmick zone. From this point on, gimmicks are active and everything is improvised. There's no sponsored topic for today's episode, so I'll take inspiration from a randomized Wikipedia page, which is... Nikodim Kondakov. That was a lot of stubs, but I'm glad I finally found a topic that I think I will be able to talk about at great length today. After skipping over far too many sports stubs to count, I've landed on this person, Nikodim Kondakov. Let's learn more about what Nikodim Kondakov is known for. Right off the bat, we have an incredible photo of Nikodim Kondakov. This is a photo that says, I am a character in a tabletop role-playing game who is about to solve a mystery that may involve science or the occult. I hope I'm not about to learn that Nikodim Kondakov is an evil, evil person. Let's find out together. Nikodim Kondakov was an art historian with special expertise in the history of Russian and Serbian Christian icons. He is remembered as a pioneer among art historians who studied the treasures of Mount Athos, like Frenchman Gabriel Millet. It looks like Nikodim is Russian. and he was born in the Russian Empire in 1844 in the village of Kalan in Kursk Governorate. He attended Moscow University under Fyodor Buslaev from 1861 to 1865. After graduation, he taught in the Moscow Art School. I am learning very rapidly that this article is also very short, and I am concerned, but there's no going back now. I have committed to Nikodim, and to Nikodim I will remain loyal. All hail Nikodim. I don't know much about Russia, or art, or history, or art history, or Russian art, or Russian art history. Coincidentally, just last night, someone recommended a Russian opera to me. So that is, at the very least, an interesting coincidence. Prior to this, I think my last experience with any form of Russian art was the film Russian Ark, which is an incredible time travel movie that takes place entirely in one long, unbroken take in a Russian museum. Or maybe it was a Russian palace, or maybe it was a Russian palace that was turned into a Russian museum. It is an incredible movie just to see them pull off the technical feat of telling a time travel story with real effects created in real time. But enough bringing my personal experience into the topic. Let's learn a little more about Nikodim and his contributions to Russian art history. In 1870, he became a lecturer in the University of Novorossiya, Odessa, now Odessa National University, Ukraine, and in 1877, he became a professor there. I'm seeing a lot of different places that Nikodim taught, and I'm wondering how I'm going to make an interesting episode of Fix My Carcast out of this topic. Especially because I am talking very slowly so that it is much easier to transcribe the words that I am saying. In the original version of this episode, as improvised, I was speaking so slowly that this would have been the 18-minute mark of the original recording. But I know I need to talk for a full hour so that the episode still has enough, I want to say length, but I almost said girth. Now I really want to know what the German word for girth is. Not that I expect it to come up much, but it could. I've now distracted myself by thinking of words that can be used in sexy situations with German people. Sorry, Nikodim, I have failed you. Unless you would be interested in having a sexual relationship with me, which I would say is impossible as you are no longer alive, but I do have a history of having sex with time travelers on this show. Once again, my apologies, Nicodim. Let's get back to your amazing career. Like in 1888, where you taught at St. Petersburg University, or in 1893, when you were a member of the Russian Academy of Fine Arts, or in 1898, when you were a member of the Russian Academy of Sciences. I called it, "You're a science bitch." I could tell from your little spectacles and your cute facial hair. This bushy little gremlin fucks with science. You can tell just by looking. But it's not good to stereotype. It's just nice to have your science slut dar confirmed. Good luck translating that one, Google. Let's learn more about Nicodim Kondakov. In 1895, he founded the Russian Archaeological Institute of Constantinople with Fyodor Uspensky. God damn. I knew it. I called it. This guy was born to be a Call of Cthulhu character. Arts, sciences, archaeology. This guy is cracking open tombs and reading ancient books, and monsters are rising from the ground when he does it. My apologies to the Kondakov family. I doubt your relative was actually involved in any sort of mystical occult practices, though I could read on to learn more about that. During the Revolution of 1917 and the Civil War in Russia, Kondakov lived in Odessa and Yalta. In 1920, he emigrated to Bulgaria and then to Czechoslovakia, where he taught in Prague University until his death in 1925. Rest in peace, Nicodim Kondakov. You will be missed, unless I read that you did awful things later in the article. In fairness, everyone has done some awful things. And that's no reason not to read their Wikipedia page on your weird little fundraising podcast where you talk real slow, put it through a computer twice, and then talk real fast. I'm going to pause to get a sip of iced tea. Ah, that was refreshing. It's always a pleasure to wet one's whistle. Yummy, too. Let's talk about Nicodim Kondakov's first book, which was about Greek manuscript illumination. For some reason, the title of the book is not mentioned here on the Wikipedia page. I feel like that is a gross oversight. Oh well. Nicodim Kondakov's first book was published in 1877. He approached the stylistic evolution of Eastern Romanesque art through the use of artistic ideal. I will be completely honest. Reading the rest of this article is just going to be facts about years and titles and people, and none of it is very interesting without further context. So I feel like I'm good to move past this, but let me cherry pick the best bits so we can learn more about Nicodem's personal hyperfixations. His lectures influenced future historians. He wrote numerous works on the history of ancient Greek, Russian, Georgian, and Eastern Roman art. He founded the modern method in the history of the art of the Eastern Roman Empire. I would like to stress once again that I don't know much about art or history. I tend to make the art, not analyze the art. Pause for another sip of delicious tea. I guess it would be inaccurate to say that I don't study art. I consider myself an artist. I'm a comedian. I'm a musician. I'm a storyteller. I'm an improviser. I'm a whole lot of fun. That said, a lot of my comedy comes from criticizing art. So while I have never considered myself a proper critic, I do a fair amount of analysis of art and storytelling, particularly of film, occasionally of graphic novels, or written things, or television. But I have little to no experience with visual arts like painting, or drawing, or sculpture, though I realize that film and television could technically be considered visual arts. Oh! I also love dance, especially burlesque and drag, and I also recently discovered that a friend of mine from high school does competitive tap dancing, and I was absolutely enthralled by it. It was a fascinating form of storytelling that had similar elements of burlesque, but was still its own thing. I feel like in the process of trying to explain that I'm not an art critic, I basically just acted as an art critic a little bit there. I have no formal training when I discuss art, other than being a human with feelings. So in that sense, I do quite a lot of analysis of art. You know, if you'll permit me to go on a tangent, something that never happens on this show, I recently saw a social media post the other day with gamers discussing how video games are active entertainment and many other art forms are passive entertainment. And I disagreed. Simply watching or reading a narrative work is anything but passive. If you're doing it right, it will be engaging you in your feelings, and you will be taking your own life experiences and comparing them to what you're seeing. And that goes for film, television, books, comics, dance, burlesque, drag, etc. So to me, if you are enjoying these art forms, but consider yourself passively enjoying them, to that I say, skill issue. Get good, noob. You need to up your emotion stats, brosif. I'm trying to think of a more German-sounding name to squeeze the word bro into. We could be here a while, but also I'm running out of things to talk about, and I'm going to guess that this episode currently is about, 8 minutes long at best. Nevertheless, I have to keep saying things that I myself will eventually have to type. Hopefully, they're easy to spell things, though some of the names in this article were very complicated. If you're watching the video version, I'm pointing to one that I don't particularly want to learn how to spell when I have to transcribe this later. Anyway, you might be thinking that I could just use AI to get a transcript. The funny thing is, since I did the last episode, where I translated the whole episode into another language, then translated it back, then re-performed it, there is now a built-in transcription service on Apple Podcasts. The catch is that the episode needs to be uploaded first. I'm sure I could find a program that I could feed this audio into, and some form of AI would give me a transcript quite easily. There may even be an application on my phone that will do it for me. But here's the thing. It's clobbering time. Sorry, couldn't resist. Here is the issue. I want to stay true to the spirit of the previous translation episode, and to do that, I feel like in my heart I must do the transcription by ear, by hand, or it's not as fun. Also, any art that AI can do, that I can also do, I can do better. Maybe not as fast, but better. And this is an opinion I strongly stand by. I've been thinking of art a lot, especially because I'm scared I'm going to be fucking murdered for who I am. So I am trying to make art that expresses who I am as fast as I can before I get fucking murdered. I'm done pretending like that's not something I'm going to talk about on my show. Speaking of AI, did you know that this show is on IMDb now? I don't know why, but I highly suspect this is the doing of AI. So, if at some point in the future, while you are clicking around IMDb, please enjoy learning about this episode, the one where I made my fears about being fucking murdered loudly known on a podcast. If this podcast disappears because I've raised the money, That will be very exciting. If this podcast is still up and there are no new episodes, well, that's probably because I'm dead. Sorry this is such a dark topic to talk about, but it was certainly one to think about when I took a month off. If the show never came back, it would probably disappear a month later because I did not pay the renewal fee for the podcast hosting site. I believe this is also what would happen to my music after a year. Because I am such a poor artist, I can barely afford to pay the fees to keep my art online. So hey, if you're not doing anything and you really enjoy my music, maybe you could go to one of the websites you can purchase it from and pay the full price for it instead of streaming it even 1,000 times, which nets me maybe a couple of pennies. Sorry to be so open about my fears. Anyway, I sure love making art while being a part of history. And I hope someday a future Nikodim Kondakov studies the art that I have made and comes to some interesting conclusions about it. Apropos of nothing, my finger has been in the air for a really long time because I've been trying to emphasize some of the points I've been making. Now it feels weird, and I don't know at what point it would be appropriate to put it down again without drawing attention to it. So here I go. I'm putting my finger down now. I'm going to look at the See Also for the article about Nikodim Kondakov. It is mostly a bunch of names I will never figure out how to spell when transcribing this episode. Here are some external links. Iconography of Mother of God. Oh, this is not in English. I believe this is called Cyrillic, but I'm just a dumbass they let on the internet. I will back away because I don't know how to read this. Here is another link, the history of Byzantine miniature painting. And I am waiting for it to load, and it also is not in English, so I won't be able to read it to you. What an interesting episode all about translation and interpretation. Looking at the works of a Russian art historian while feeding my words into a machine that is supposed to turn them into one language and then accurately turn them back. While also discussing the translation and interpretation of art. I love it when a theme comes together, even in the middle of randomized chaos. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think I can say much more about Nikodim Kondakov. I could talk about that Russian opera that was recommended to me because it is a Russian opera about a mermaid. And the friend who told me about it knows that I love mermaids. It's true. I love mermaids. Some of my best friends are mermaids. My sister is a mermaid. Go check out the episode with Audrey Sparkleface. I cannot wait to see what Audrey Sparkleface is in German. Oh, wait. Probably the same because it's a name, though now I'm curious. You know what? I know that German is famous for squishing a lot of words together to make new compound words. Maybe on the way out, as this work of my own art, perhaps I will try to combine some words and see if they do anything interesting in German. Join me now for a stream of consciousness attempt to fuck with German Google. Hammer ass, dick nose, butt muffins, rubber vagina, orgy pizza, Isaac Asimov's iRobot, Roland TB303, pansexual pencil with a penchant for French cuisine, pink pickles, hoverboard blowjob, darling little bear. As always, may all your chocolate cake be German, and may all your time travel museum movies be Russian. Holy fucking shit! Holy fucking shit. Wow. You know, I had not done... I always call it the egg episode because that was the topic, but I have not done a translation episode in so long. Jesus God. I was just staring at the clock like, come the fuck on. I gotta make it to an hour. I had to top out. I know last time I did this, I estimated like, oh, I bet if I talk for an hour, it'll be 30 minutes. Wasn't even close. I'm actually going to lay it down now. Prediction. The final episode will be at least 15 minutes, but just barely. That's my prediction. I'm not going to try to aim for that. That's my prediction, though, because I normally talk so fast. This is how I talk. I'm like, oh my God, you guys, check this out. Iconography of Mother of God. Holy shit. Wow, that's amazing. Let's learn more about the history of Byzantine miniature painting. Like, that's how I talk normally. And now I'm like, history of Byzantine miniature painting. Anyway, I got to transcribe all that shit now. So here I go. I hope you enjoyed the video version. And yeah, let's see if that makes any fucking sense. I kind of can't wait to see. Thanks for joining me. And remember, the full transcript of both versions will be up on Patreon if I start right fucking now. I have an action-packed weekend, and I gotta get to it. I actually forgot that this was the winning gimmick this week. I have like all kinds of shit going on this weekend, and then suddenly I was like, oh, this is gonna be one of those hard work episodes. Fuck. So anyway, time to transcribe, time to translate, and time to re-perform. Thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed this one. I will try to remember to put links on the YouTube video so you can hear the finished version, which will be totally different or maybe totally the same. Let's put some nutty German on it.